Hi everyone. My name is Victor Brown, and I'm about to take a web tutorial on web hosting and domain. So join me as we watch this video. Firstly, I would like to tell you what a domain is and what hosting is before we proceed. Okay. Um, okay, let's go through this. A domain name. Said a domain name is an identification used to identify a particular website. For instance, hospital.com is a typical example of a domain name. That is to say, all website has a domain name. In order for you to identify your website, you need to give out your domain name. And secondly, let's quickly look at what hosting is. It said hosting is a service provided to individuals and organizations so that they can make their web files visible and accessible on the internet. That is to say, without hosting, your website won't be visible online. Yeah, for you to have a website, you need a good domain name, and secondly, you have to host your website. When a website is not hosted, your website won't be visible online. Now, before we proceed to practicalize how to buy a domain and how to host, these are the things you need to know. Things to note when buying and hosting of a domain name. Number one, you choose a domain for your website. That is, choose the domain that you are going to be used or people are going to use to identify you. Number two, the domain has to rhyme with your brand. That is to say, if you're into designs, if you're into fashion, you need a domain name that will rhyme with your business brand. And number three, sorry, it's number four here, but number three, choose a hosting company to buy and host your domain. Now, all domain and hosting, it's been done from a hosting company. These are companies that are responsible for hosting your domain. And number five, make inquiry about the hosting company if your domain name is eligible in the company. And number six, find out if your domain name is available, because two persons can't have same domain running on the internet. Okay, so that is it. So this morning in my own country, let's see how we can host a domain and how we can buy a domain as well. Now, please, we're going to take it step by step as we go through. So I'm going to open my browser. Now, the first thing I need to do is to choose the hosting company I want to use. We have a lot of hosting company. We have foreign hosts and indoor host, but I'm going to be using my own country host, Nigerian hosts, called Guarantor. So I'm going to type Guarantor, like Guarantor double N, Guarantor.net. Okay, so let's see. Sorry about that. It's coming up. Wow, so this connection was reset. Okay, maybe there's an issue with the domain or with the domain name I just typed. Let me just search on Google. Let me say Guarantor hosting. Let's see Google. They are going to give me the right one. Okay, there is it. Sorry, Guarantor.ng. So let's follow this link. Guarantor.ng, not .net. Is it? Okay. Now, this is a hosting company here in Nigeria. They sell domains and also host a domain. Now, when you are in a hosting company, when you're on their platform, these are what you need to do. Firstly, you have to search for the domain name you want to buy. It has to be done here on this bus. You find your perfect domain name you want to buy, and I'm going to be using this domain Jetty. I'm going to be using jetty.com .ng. Now take notes, if this domain has been taken, it won't be available to you. So this is the domain name I want to purchase, ject.com.ng. This is the guarantor site. You scroll down a little bit, you see the search box to find your perfect domain. So let's search. Let's see if it's available or not. Okay, still searching. Wow, awesome. Say congratulations, ject.com.ng is available. Now we have searched our domain and is available. That means we can actually buy this domain, ject.com.ng. Now we are buying our domain. Please take note of this step. Now the next thing you need to do, you check out for the price. So the cost of this domain is 999 naira. So let's add to cart. Whoa. Network. So after that, we have to check out the domain after adding to carts. So let's review our carts by checking out the domain. Okay, good. So this is our products. Please review your domain section and the add-ins available, blah blah blah. Now these are our domain. Now remember I told you buying of domain is a different thing. When you're buying a domain, is just to get your identity online, but to be visible online you need to host. Now our hosting service, they are telling us that no hosting. So click to add hosting. You can buy the domain, later on you come back to host, or you host immediately. But for this video tutorial, we are going to be hosting immediately. So all I have to do is to click to add my hosting. Okay. Now these are different categories of hosting depending on the disk space and the database. The first one you say is a nano hosting. The disk space is 500 MB. You can only add 3 emails and it has one database and also one domain that is allowed. The second one, which is micro hosting, the disk space is 2 gigabytes, unlimited emails, unlimited database, and 2 domains allowed. Now these payments, these are monthly payments from 2,900 to 1,500, 300 and 125 naira. But for the cost of this tutorial, I'll be using the first one, which costs 125 naira monthly. So it depends on how big your web file is for you to choose the one that will be suitable for you. Your website can be 500 gig and you're going for 500 MB disk space. It's not possible. But for the course of this tutorial, I'm going to be using this one. So I will say order now. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to slow down a bit. Let me take it easily. Now this is the domain that we want to use for the selected hosting. So you go over here and say use. Okay, verify your domain section. So good. This place allows you to choose if you want to host it quarterly, semi-annually, annually, or biannually. But for this teaching, I'm going to be using monthly, just for 1 month. But if you want your domain to run for 1 year, that means you have to go for annually. So it's monthly for this tutorial. Now you just have to go to continue. Okay, so this is it. Now it has changed. The registration period, it now has a hosting. That is to say, ject.com.ng has a hosting. Now there are some free stuff that is given to us, like our TNS management. I have to activate it. Email forwarding is also free.